My name is Marty Dickinson with the Here Next Year Web Marketing Club and our 50 books, and I have the distinct honor to have with me a longtime friend and former D26 Toastmaster District Governor, Dana Morgan Barnes. Welcome to be, great to have you with us, Dana.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much, Marty.
It's an important day for Dana today because she is launching her first book, which is titled Health and Wellness Journey, Creating a Path That Works After All Other Attempts Have Failed. And I really want to just start with that. Let's talk about your title a little bit because it's an unusual title. I searched on Amazon today and found there are 22,000 search results for health and wellness books out there. So why did you title the book Health and Wellness Journey specifically?
Well, because Marty, I believe it is a journey. I don't think it's a one pony rodeo. I think you really need to be on this for the duration of your life. I don't believe in jumping on a diet and then jumping off and jumping on a diet and, oh, I'm going to work on it today and give it up tomorrow. This is something that I believe is for someone to follow for the rest of their lives. If you're 40 years old, if you're 75 years old, you can still get on a journey that's going to help you become well, healthy, and able.
Whenever I think of a journey, I think of a trip, like if I'm going to go to England or something for a couple of weeks. And you really want to plan a trip like that, I would think. And maybe that's where that comes into play in the rest of your title, where you say creating a plan. So it doesn't sound to me like this is your average, here's how to do a diet, or here are 15 exercises for you to do next week. How would you describe your book as part of creating a plan?
Well, I think it's very self-paced. It's self-centered, quite frankly. You decide what's going to work for you. I do Zumba and I walk my feet off. Those are my chosen forms of exercise. You may not like Zumba. You may really not like walking, but maybe you'll swim. Maybe you'll use an elliptical. Some people like to go to the gym. Some people want to be at home and, privacy of their home. I'm not saying do this exercise. What I'm saying is find an exercise that works for you and then do it. And you may be saying right now, oh, I want to swim. That's what I want to do. I'm going to go swim. Well, after several months, you may be saying, I see all these people going to a spin class. Maybe I want to try that. Well, then try the spin class. You may like the spin class. It's your journey. You stay on your path and find different ways to be happy on that path. And to me, I'm not going to tell you, you must do Zumba or you must run 25 miles a day. You find what works for you. Same thing with food. I'm not going to tell you, go vegan or drop dairy. That's up to you. What works for you, what you can stay with for a lifetime.
Well, that sounds great. But one of the things that jumped out at me in the book is early on when you said that you've struggled for 40 plus years to find your own health and wellness plan. So I'm figuring that's why that is also part of the title.
Very good. Yes, it is. It's part of the title because I have struggled. I've lost a lot of weight and then I've gained it all back. And then I've lost a lot of weight and I gained it all back. And the famous they say, when you gain it back, you gain the same and more. And there have been times when I have gained more, and how frustrating that is. So instead of trying a diet plan and it's impossible to stay on while you're traveling, or it's impossible to stay on at a convention, you don't want to say, oh, no sugar, please. And so they plop down a cheesecake in front of you, and everybody else is munging on the cheesecake, and you're going, I really want that cheesecake. So you eat the cheesecake, and now you're a failure, and then you give up because clearly you can't stay on any kind of diet. So forget it. I'm just going to eat like a mad person, and you gain the weight back. So instead, my book is saying all roads, all journeys, all paths have detours. They have bumps. They have rocky places. There's sandy places. You're going to get bogged down. But then there's going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be those fun places on the road where you go up the hill and down the hill. You know how your stomach goes, woo, when you go down the hill real fast. And there's going to be places like that too, where you're enjoying your journey. So how do you go on this journey for a lifetime? It's not always going to be smooth sailing. There's going to be detours. And so I have found that thinking of it as a journey instead of a diet has helped me stay on this thing. This has helped me want to complete my journey in a positive way.
And one of the things that stood out in your book too is when you were talking about how finally finding your plan that works for you has helped you to do all these other things that it almost sounded like you just gave up on having an active lifestyle, or even dreaming that you could have an active lifestyle. And I can imagine there are other people out there that think the same thing. They've been overweight, out of shape for so many years. Well, I've just resigned myself to not having an active lifestyle. I don't even want to have an active lifestyle. How do you respond to something like that?
I say, take one step. That's what I say. Take one step. Someone may say, I can't walk around the block. You walk 8 miles. I can't walk around the block. Oh, well, then walk to the corner. You don't walk around the block. Walk to the corner and then walk back. And do that for a week. And after a week, you'll probably be able to turn the corner and go to the next corner. And then you'll be finding yourself going around that block and then adding another block and another block. And it's not you're not helpless. I believe that each of us has control over our own lives. And there may be someone with bad knees or a bad hip or a bad back. I acknowledge medical challenges that someone might have. There's always going to be something you can do that will help you become more healthy and able and well. There is something. And maybe it is swimming. So maybe you do have to go to the Y if you don't have a pool in your backyard. Then go to the Y, because being healthy and well is so worth driving to the Y or driving to the gym or the public pool or wherever it is. It's so worth it to make that effort and take that time, because it's for you, and once you're well and healthy, then you can help others be the best they can be as well.
So many things jump out at me about this book as you're talking. I'm remembering you going through this detail, and what's great about this book is that it's not a book that you have to read 25 times because of the way that it's written. I remember what you said. You've inspired so many people who have already had pre-release copies of this book, like my wife, for example. I mean, she didn't even get a third of the way through it, and all of a sudden I saw a change in her eating habits. I saw she started going on her mini tramp. She dug a mini tramp out of our crawl space that she used like 30 years ago. And she started bouncing on this thing.
When she was only 5 years old. Yes.
Exactly. And what was incredible about that is that she hasn't thought about that thing in years. And I think that the picture that you're painting to people is that you need to do something. And it has to be every day. And of course you point that out in your book, but I just want to go back to another thing that jumped out at me, which is why people do this in the first place. I think that was what really got to my wife is that you finally make this decision that, hey, I can only help other people in my family if I'm here, if I'm alive.
Right.
That's a really important point. So how did you come up with that realization?
Well, I think it's really important for everyone to find their why. Some people have grandkids. some people want to save cats in the neighborhood. They want to make an invention. They want to change the world in some way. And so whatever that why is, you have to find that for yourself. What's in your heart? And when your why is so big and screaming at you, it gives you great motivation to do something about it. And for me, I'm 61 years old, and people are like, "Oh, you don't look 61." Yeah, whatever. But I am 61. I don't care what I look like. I am 61. I don't have very long. My husband jokes around he's going to be 120, and if he's 120 and healthy, I'm all for it. I don't want to be 80 and not able. I would rather end it, not me ending it, but I'd rather be gone at 75 if I'm not going to be able. But I want to be able and well and healthy for as long as, if I get hit by a Mack truck that's going to hit me because I somehow didn't run fast enough out of the road or something, not because I'm laying there with congestive heart failure or diabetes or whatever that is. I'm going to do everything in my power to avoid those things, because I want to be able to take care of my husband. I want to, and that hopefully will mean making him dinner, not hauling him around in a wheelchair. I want to be able to take care of my friends, have them over. I want to be able to volunteer and help people that have not been on a healthy journey maybe. So in order to do all those things, I have to be here, and I have to be well enough and healthy enough and able enough. And when you're morbidly obese or just obese, you have a challenge doing any of those things. Going to the grocery store is a challenge when you're morbidly obese. If you can't breathe because walking around a block because you're so heavy, how are you going to help anybody? How are you going to have your grandchildren over? Any of those things. So find your why and get on a road. And for me, I got sick and tired of, I'm on a diet now, because diets are specifically designed to get off of as fast as you can. I'm going to be on a diet until I lose this 30 pounds. Ding, 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 ding. I've lost 30 pounds. Now I go back and eat like a pig. No offense to pigs. They're lovely creatures. But they give us bacon, so we love pigs. But don't eat much bacon, though. But the point is, diets are designed to get off of. And what I'm saying is this isn't something you're going to get off of. You're going to be on this until the day you die. We don't like talking about dying, but we're all on that road too. And I want to be healthy until that day. So I don't want to be on a diet that is impossible to stay on. I love to travel. And I'm sorry, I can't find the cabbage soup diet when I'm traveling. It ain't on the menu. So what do you end up doing? You end up going off your cabbage soup diet, and then you blow it, and then you're a failure, and you're not worth it, and then you go eat everything in sight. And it just isn't worth it. I was away for this past weekend, and I had a cookie. They were homemade chocolate chip cookies. They were the best doggone things I've ever had in my life. I had a cookie, and it was delicious. Whoa, I wanted the plate. But I knew that eating the plate was not going to serve me. So I had a cookie. And having the cookie was satisfying. I was happy. And I was done. So, if you have it in your mind, you can have that one thing. But don't go insane about it.
And just as a reminder, Dana's book is just live this morning on Monday, October 10th, 2016. I am the first interview she's had, I think, so far on this book, actually launching. Many more to come, I'm sure. And her book is titled Health and Wellness Journey, Creating a Plan That Works after all other attempts have failed. You can just go to Amazon and search for Health and Wellness Journey, and you can even put Dana Morgan Barnes in there, and that will bring her book cover up. Or you can go to r50books.com and see the sales page that I've written. We are a web marketing club at herenextyear.com, so this is going out to all of our members, and I've written a sales page for this book. And also the book is promoted on Dana's website, which is CoachDanaInspires.com. Again, that is CoachDanaInspires.com. And Dana, I'm just going to ask you two more questions here. First of all, you just listening to you talking about all the benefits of exercise and how you've gone through this journey of your own, why is it so hard for adults to commit to a health and wellness program of any kind, just adopting that entire lifestyle of wanting and striving to be healthy and well? Why is it so hard?
I think there's two things. I think one thing, so many of us that have attempted to lose weight in the past in the traditional way have failed so many times that starting another failure is not very, that doesn't look good. The possibility is very low that I will be successful at this, so why even bother? The other thing is I think people get into habits. I'm in a habit of eating a pint of Ben & Jerry's. We love Ben & Jerry's, but don't mean to slam you, Ben or Jerry. But, we're in a habit of eating a pint of ice cream every night while we're watching TV. And so what do you do if you're not eating that pint of ice cream? Oh, my. What do we do? Get up and walk in place then. Pick up 2 cans of green beans and lift them. You don't need to go get dumbbells. Just lift cans of squash. I don't know, pumpkin. Do anything, but do something other than eating that ice cream or that bag of potato chips. And I think we're just in such a habit. And I think another thing is, I think people, when they hit a certain age, well, I'm already done. I'm at this age, and the damage is done. And there may be damage done. I'm not a medical professional, so I can't tell you damage is done that you can't reverse. But the fact of the matter is, even if you have diabetes, even if you have some high blood pressure and things like that, if you start working out, start moderate, but if you start working out and start watching what you eat, I have personally seen people go from using massive amounts of insulin to using almost none by starting to move and eating right. I would do anything to not have to use insulin, whether it's in the shot form, or taking a pill. Why? Get your tushies in gear and go do something, and stop beating up your body by using crummy things and hurting it instead of, get sore from walking. Don't get sore from putting a needle in you.
Whenever I do interviews of people who have figured out a process, a method that they're sharing with the world through a book or through speaking, I always wonder, I wonder if they ever pictured themselves when they were like 16 or 17 years old talking like you're talking now. I mean, how can you imagine if you got your own book 20 or 30 years ago? How might that have changed you? How has your own process changed you in your life? And how can other people paint that picture of how their lives can change as a result of what you've experienced?
Right. Well, I can tell you that I do a lot of, I used to do a lot of blaming. If my mom had only taken me to Powder Puff softball, because back in my day, that was what there was around, was Powder Puff. We didn't have, we didn't commingle the boys and the girls. And it was too far away. It cost too much. She had every excuse in the world not to take me to things. And I think, wow, if I could have only been more active, if I could have only, and I think we're all anybody who's obese or overweight or unhealthy, we have a myriad of reasons. You know, go to a therapist if you need to, but instead go for a walk. It's so much better for you. But for me, my life would have been very different if I had been in better shape and healthier, just doing things, being more active. And when I was morbidly obese and, you know, sitting in my recliner having, you know, a bout of pneumonia, you know, the last thing I ever thought of was I was going to write a book about being healthy. That wasn't it. But becoming healthy, you know, I love to travel, and being healthy and well and able, I'm able to go where I want to go. I'm able to get in that plane seat. I'm able to sit in the car. I'm able to drive to a nice hike, and I don't need to hike a 14er, but going out and walking through a meadow and looking for animals to take pictures of, or skydiving. I've driven a race car. You know, when I was morbidly obese, I couldn't fit. You got to go through the window of a race car. I couldn't have fit through the darn window. So, I mean, there's so many things that I can do now, and I don't know what 61 is supposed to feel like, but if this is 61, I'm pretty doggone happy at 61. This is a good 61, and I'm so happy. I just went to my 43rd high school reunion, and there were people there that they didn't look morbidly obese. They didn't look obese, but they were having a hard time walking, you know, their hip or their leg or their this or their that. And I'm sitting there going, can I have your address? I'll send you a book. You need my book, honey. And it's so, I felt so bad because I want, you know, it's like I wanted to help them to be healthy, because I know they have grandkids, and instead of chasing their grandkids, the grandkids have to run to them and crawl on their lap, and they're happy with that. There's so many other things you could be doing. Take your grandkids to France or something. Good grief, you know. Don't sit in your rocking chair.
Well, Dana, I just turned 50 a couple of weeks ago, and if I only have half the energy that you do at 61, I will be one happy camper. So again, we're going to close off this interview. And one more time, Dana's book is just launching this morning, Monday, October 10th, 2016, with the title of Health and Wellness Journey, Creating a Plan That Works After All Other Attempts Have Failed. It's a terrific book. Everybody needs to get this book. I don't care if you're 15 or 50 or 75 or 85. I mean, this is a great book for any age group. And get 1, 2, or 3 for Christmas presents and give these to people you know and people you love. It will make them better people, more energy. It'll help them live longer. And that is what life is all about. So thank you, Dana, for being on the call today, and best of luck with your book launch. Great job.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you so much.